We are honored to have you on with us today. What a journey you've been through, and I know you can't wait to share it with the world. So you got to be pretty excited right about now, right?
I'm very excited and also slightly nervous, just a little.
Yeah. Well, it's not an easy thing to put your life out there and put a book out there. And but it's also one of those things I think that this book could really, really help people. So it's also one of those things that you just kind of have to fight through, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And you're a fighter. You've been through so much. Oh my goodness, this book details it, but it gives a message of hope that I think that we kind of need right about now in this world, right?
Yeah. Yes, exactly. We need hope.
Yeah, absolutely. And it does seem like a really, really good time. And I know you've worked on this book for a long time. I guess right now does seem to be the right time, but why now? What was it that made you think, all right, this is the exact time?
You know, um, well, it just reminds me that we all have scars. Every scar has a story. And for me, it started back in the mountains of Guatemala, where I was born with a bilateral cleft lip and cleft palate. That's where you're born without a lip, and in the roof of your mouth, you have a hole. And I should have died. I should have not lived. But my story didn't end there. Through my memoir, Beautifully Scar, I take the reader on a journey with me from the mountains of Guatemala to survival, to overcoming, to adoption, and truly to redemption. And I think the reason why I wanted to write my story now was I wanted to give hope to people that, we all have scars. We have scars that are seen and unseen, but how beautiful our scars can become.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's some great chapters in here, and I think that there's some things that people will really resonate with, and especially having to do with kind of the shame and rejection and worry that because there's a lot of people that have that even with so much less. All
Yeah.
right.
Yes, I mean, we all have those scars, both seen and unseen. And, mine, I have physical scars and I have emotional scars. I've had 23 surgeries. I have the
Mm,
double scar on my lip. I have a scar on my lower lip where they sewed a vein. Literally, my lip was sewn shut
wow.
from the bottom to the top. And I have scars on my hip where they took the bones out to place them in my mouth. I mean, I just have so many I can't even count. But it really is true, though, that the hidden scars, that the emotional scars that a lot of us do carry, those were and are the true wounds of my heart. And it took longer for those to heal, from adults making fun of me, from doctors when I was little saying, "Hey, you're not going to be able to speak. You're going to be different." Through the trauma of surgeries, shame, rejection, anger, all the things. But it's just a matter of working through each scar, um, and learning that we all have a story and not where we've been, but where we are going.
Hmm. Well, as you say, as one of the chapters say, God doesn't want us stuck, right?
Yeah, exactly. Very good. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. One chapter I thought that was particularly interesting was about spiritual warfare, and I think a lot of people are going through this right now. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah. So, spiritual warfare, I mean, there's so much in the unseen realm that is going on. We're fighting a battle that we can't see. And for me, the enemy wanted to take me out. The enemy didn't want me to live. I mean, he tried to take me out. But, I feel like when we fight the battle, sometimes the best place to fight that battle is on our knees, in prayer and knowing that the Lord is with us and he is fighting for us.
Absolutely. And do you have any sort of words of wisdom or maybe comfort for those that are maybe going through this battle right now?
Yeah, give yourself grace because so often we are the hardest. We're the hardest on ourselves. And so, I would be patient. healing doesn't always happen overnight. Sometimes it does. But if we really do trust in God's timing, that's the perfect timing. It may not be our timing, but and it's okay if you're still in the waiting for your healing. That God has not abandoned you. That he's creating something beautiful, and that my mom always would tell me, "Hey, Cammy, this too shall pass."
Absolutely. And so, for those that are thinking about writing their own story, what kind of advice would you give them? Because I know it's certainly not easy to get not only a book written, but out there in the world too.
Yeah, advice, I would say, um, well, for me, I saw my story. I had like a vision, a night vision, where I saw my story being played out, and I could hear myself narrating in the background, and the words did not come from me. And that's when I began to write. And for someone else that is, wanting to tell their story, I would say just get out there, do it. Your people need to hear where you've been, because we all have a story. And I believe that if we place our scars in the hand of Jesus and really point to his scars, that it's your story is beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said. And speaking things that maybe shouldn't have happened or big miracles on our show, my co-host is Drew Pearson, one of our great Dallas Cowboys who caught the Hail Mary, win the Hall of Fame, and we all know the Hail Mary turn. And we talk about those Hail Mary moments in your life, the moment in your life or career where you just kind of had to go for it and it worked out for you. What do you suppose that was for you?
Ooh, there's so many
So
Hail
many.
Mary moments in my life. I'm trying to think. I mean, the fact that I survived is like, thank you, Lord. But I would say for me, one of the moments is my father, my biological father, Jesus, he walked down a mountain for to try to allow me to survive, and the doctors kicked him out and were like, "I'm sorry, sir, but you don't have enough money, and we don't know how to perform the surgery." And he began to cry over my life because he knew that I was going to die. And two men out of nowhere, this is my Hail Mary moment. Two men
Yeah.
out of nowhere came up to him and they just said, "Sir, why are you crying?" And he couldn't even speak, but whenever he lifted the blanket from my face, they saw the deformity and they said, "There is hope." And they led Jesus and I to an orphanage called Casa Guatemala. And it was there that I was able to live and not die. And the interesting thing is, when Jesus turned around and when Angie, the owner of the orphanage, went to thank these two men, they were nowhere to be found and no one had seen them. And I believe that that was a divine intervention over my life.
Ah, that's amazing. Of course, we should also mention that this month is National Adoption Month, and which is a big thing personally in our family. We've ever since I was very, very young and my sister was young, we our family took care of foster babies. I believe there's 32 in all. So it's pretty amazing, and it's a really important thing to do for anybody that can help. They definitely should, and in any kind of fostering or adoption. Right?
Yes, I mean, Paul, thank you for your family. Your family is incredible. My parents, too. I started off as a foster child when I was 2 months, but adoption was a beautiful thing in my life. It saved me, it gave me hope, it gave me a future. And adoption is both beautiful, and it's layered, It's more than giving a child a home. It's about joining their story, about their hurts and their past, but it's also about that child joining into the family. There has to be an adoption of both parties. And it is such a beautiful picture, though, of redemption and how God redeems all things, and what the enemy meant for evil, God will make it for good.
Yeah, well said. And so, what is it that you keep in mind that kind of keeps you on the right path? Because we talk about a lot of this is mindset, right?
Yeah, I mean, really, I just take it one step at a time, knowing that there is beauty in pain, that it's not just about erasing my wounds because they're there, my scars are here, but it's an indication that healing took place. And I went from saying, God, why me? Why did I have to go through all this? To saying, Lord, please use me. Let my story be an encouragement.
Absolutely. And of course, I know that people will maybe get something different out of the book depending on what they've been through, what their family's been through, who they know. So what are you hoping that people will think about or take away from this?
You know, I the my thing is just that everybody has a story, and that you are seen, that you are valued, that you are loved, and that brokenness does not have to be the end of your story, that there is hope, and that even beauty can rise from some of the darkest and some of the most from the hardest places.
Yeah, beautifully said. And then of course now we can't wait to see where this goes. I think this would make a great movie or TV show or something, right?
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, I mean, I envisioned it as a movie one day, so who knows what the Lord has in plan. But every door that He opens, I will walk through boldly.
Yes, I love that. And then, of course, we should also mention there's a U version, uh, something with this, right?
Yes, yeah, thank you for asking. People can connect with my new version devotional at cameyjoy.com. That's CAMEYJOY.com. And it is a 5 day devotion that's a companion to my memoir, and it connects scriptures and reflections of the reader, and your story, and where you can find the beauty in the pain. Courage, have courage in that fear, and that there's healing in brokenness, and that the most important thing is that we all have a story.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for being with us, and thank you for your wonderful answers, and thank you for writing the book. I know that it's going to touch a lot of people, and we'll look forward to staying in touch with you and talking again soon.
Well, thank you, Paul, for having me. It's such an honor to be
Thanks
here.
so much. All right, we'll see you again soon. Thank you.
Bye.